And so we're back from the brief intermission, and basically that's what I wanted to touch on, the Roman Empire, and show you. And we always, every so often, we'll go back and we'll cover, the Roman Empire to prove to you that, the United States as part of the Roman Empire, because like I said earlier, the members of NATO and the members of EU are basically the same. They're part of the same organization. But the U.S. is a part of NATO, which connects them to the EU. So if they're all one body, because when they go to war under one body. They go under the UN. The UN is a part of that too. That's why they call itself. Sometimes they go under the name of UN forces. Sometimes they fight under the name of NATO, which you have members of the EU, members of NATO, and the United States, which is a member of NATO. So that's the vastness of the revised Roman Empire. So if you can't see that this is the Roman Empire, the last leg of the Roman Empire, and that the last leg of the Roman Empire was going to have control over the whole planet Earth, then you don't understand what the hell's going on. Okay? So now, you got anything? No. All right, now I want to deal with these tribes. And these are the last tribes that the last four tribes we didn't deal with. The tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Simeon, the tribe of Levi, and the tribe of Manasseh. Now, when we break down Simeon and Levi, it's pretty much they're pretty much the same, because it tells you that they lived on the same island. So the two tribes pretty much run into each other. And Manasseh, pretty much those prophecies fit Ephraim, because Manasseh was the older brother to Ephraim, but Ephraim became the greater. All right? So we want to start with the tribe of Benjamin. The tribe of Benjamin, let's go to Genesis, the 49th chapter, and I believe that's the 27th verse.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Read that again.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Now, what you're going to have to do is look up the word raven. And I believe you got to go, because if you got to look hard enough at the word raven, because raven will say one thing and won't give you the full definition. If you look up the word raven, I believe it's under the Webster's Dictionary. You go to that and see what it says. Yeah. Because what you're going to find out, the word raven means to tear, like a wolf. When they catch their prey, they tear the prey apart. But it also means utterance. So in this case, with Benjamin raven as a wolf, meaning he's going to utter by song, by poetry, by speech, that Babylon, which is America, must fall. And back now they doing all this booty shaking bullshit like Judah up here in the States. But years ago, it seemed like every song was about the downfall of Babylon. Babylon must fall. All right? This guy, what's his name? Benjamin Decker? Who wrote that song, The Israelites? Desmond Decker. Desmond Decker. Back in the 60s, he wrote this song called the Israelites, right? And then that kind of set a trend of them speaking about that they're the tribes of Israel. They spoke about the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, but they equated the conquering line of the tribe of Judah to Haile Selassie, which he's not of our people. He's going into slavery, all right? But most of those songs is about Babylon must fall, all right? Fire must hit Babylon and so forth. There's several songs on that, man. All right? You got it out? Okay.
These are the definitions it has for raven. Now I put raven spelt pursuant to Genesis 49:27. Raven spelled R-A-V-I-N, and I put it in dictionary.com because I went to Webster's and nothing wouldn't come up. Now this is what it says. It says to seek, plunder, or prey, to eat or feed voraciously or greedily, to raven like an animal, to have a ravenous appetite, to seize as spoil or prey, to devour voraciously, rapine, robbery, plunder, or prey. Pretty much the same thing. Now we know it also means to utter, so I'm going to keep looking and.
Right, because at one, like the Elder Tar was saying, at one time, you know, you had the tribe of Benjamin, and that's all the songs they used to make. You know, the majority of the songs, should I say, they used to make about Babylon being destroyed and falling down. They knew that America was Babylon. You know, that's why the scriptures call Benjamin, and the name Benjamin comes from the Hebrew word Banyamyan, which the word Banyamyan, the word Bun means son, and Yum means right, son of the right. Why? Because of the fact that the name that they had, basically out of all the tribes, they were really one of the tribes that really brought out like these songs and always quoting scriptures in their songs. You know, like Judah, they'll make songs and stuff like that in the gospel and all that. But Benjamin's main theme back then, especially when they used to make songs, was making songs about the Most High, songs about the destruction of America, songs about Psalms, you know, different Psalms in the Bible. They used to make songs about that, you know. So that was a part of the prophecy of their name, which goes back to a term that Elder Gabari likes to use a lot called nomen omen, which is a name prediction. So by Benjamin being called Banyamyan, or son of the right, you could see in the actions, or at least in the songs that they brought out, that they were close to the Most High, you know. But just like all the other tribes, you know, all the tribes went off. You know, we were all close to the Most High, but at one point or the other, you know, we all went off, you know. So that's what the name Benjamin means, you know. And then when it says that they shall raven like a wolf, meaning they're gonna get together like in packs, and they're gonna be chanting songs against America, which is known as Babylon the Great. That's why you always see, like even in that movie Marked for Death, you know, when Steven Seagal went to go see Screwface, and then Screwface was disappearing through the corridors, and in the background on the wall there was like some graffiti written up there, some cheesy graffiti, but it said Babylon gone fall, you know. In other words, Babylon is gonna fall. You know why? Because they always, that was one of their major mottos. So that's being that that's one of their major mottos. That's what they sang as they were ravening as wolves, true to the prophecy that was written of them, you know, in the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter. Because you have to remember that the things that were written in Genesis, the 49th chapter, they weren't written about during the time when Israel took over the land of Canaan from the Canaanites, because these prophecies didn't happen back then. These were future prophecies that even the tribes, when Jacob was speaking to the tribes, they didn't understand what he meant by those things, because he was speaking in the spirit. Right, he was speaking in the spirit about future prophecies that were going to take part in this time. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered, I think it was back in the 70s, you had this group named Steel, you know, Benjamin, you know, they come out of the tribe of Benjamin. They had a song called Ravers, all right? And you listen to the song, it talks about ravening, you know, getting into the spirit of, you know, utterance and partying and all of that. And that coincides with Genesis 49:27 when it speaks about raven. And that's like a saying down there in the islands, you know, ravers, ravening, you know, so it all ties in, you know.
And it's not because they read in the scriptures about Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. It's spiritual. And then if you look at some of the products that they make down there, they're named Benjamin. Some of the products that they use, it's a common name down there. Just like among Ephraim, you have the word Ephraim or Ephraim with an N at the end. It's a common name among the tribes of Ephraim. Because Benji.
Yeah, the name Benjamin, or particularly in Jamaica, named Benji. You know, Benji is a common name.
It's not a coincidence. So that's why Jacob was gathering his sons together to tell them things that were going to befall him in the future. The same thing when Joseph brought Ephraim and Manasseh before Jacob to get a blessing. What did he say? He said, as for these two, Ephraim and Manasseh, they are mine, just like Benjamin and Levi are mine. So what was he saying in essence? He said that Ephraim and Manasseh were going to become a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. And then he told Joseph, any other seed that comes out of you, they shall be your children. But as these two here, these are mine. And that was the Lord used that in the spirit, because in the future, those two children were going to become two of the tribes of the nation of Israel. All right? And all the things that were written of them in prophecy back then, dealing with prophecy, dealing with characteristics, dealing with the mannerisms and the way and the way that they would conduct themselves, the places that they were going to be living, their surroundings, the fruitful lands that they were going to be in, the mineral resources that were going to be given to these tribes. You know, the calamities that were going to fall upon them. Through the Spirit, Jacob was telling them all these things, you know, and he broke it down tribe by tribe. He began with Reuben, because Reuben was the firstborn, and he gave Reuben the prophecies that were going to happen to his children and his tribe. Then he went down the line. He went to Simeon, Levi, Judah, and he went straight on down the line. And the last of his children that was born was Benjamin. And they don't fit the so-called white. Right, and none of those characteristics in Genesis 49 or Deuteronomy 33 fit the so-called white man. Right. All right, because you got this bullshit called British Israelism, where the so-called white man, which is that Elder Tahar spoke about, the guy at the Worldwide Church of God, with that guy Armstrong, he adopted that philosophy about the 10 tribes being those so-called Europeans.
I could say this. Well, first of all, the word British, to be British means to be an Israelite, because the word British comes from the word Barath, which means a covenant, and Ish meaning man. All right, covenant man. Who are the men of the covenant? The Israelites.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the word, but I ran across it, and the word basically means to tear, but it also, if you look hard enough, the word means to utterance. So when you look up the word utterance, it means to chant, to sing, to say, to speak on something. So Benjamin is going to actually tear, but before he tears, he's going to raven, which means to utter, to sing those songs about Babylon must fall. You know, get that frenzy going of Babylon must fall. All right? Now let's read it again. Just like a pack of wolves when they get together. Just like a pack of wolves. Before they do something, they howl. And before they tear you to pieces, they howl and they let you know we're coming to get you. All right? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
And then if you Benjamin, and you know how the gangs work, that's how they operate, man. In the daytime they'll jack you up, and then at night they'll say meet me somewhere at night, and they'll divide the spoils amongst each other. But really, on the bigger picture, when they read that part again.
It says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Right. In this sense, the prey is talking about Esau and Babylon. So in the morning he's going to do what? He's going to devour, he's going to destroy the prey, and at evening he shall divide the spoil. The morning is talking about the morning of our kingdom. When our kingdom, when our new day comes in, that's when the sun comes up, so to speak. That's our morning. Now the night part of dividing the spoils is talking about Esau's night. Because this guy, what's his dude? He's a faggot from England. He sung the song, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Elton John, he sung a song called entitled Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. You know? And that's basically symbolic for Esau's society going down. What did the British say about the empire? They said the sun will never set on British soil, right? What did they mean by that? That means that their society wasn't going to go down, because in England you have the sun goes down, it comes up. The sun is a bigger meaning. It's talking about their society. Once your sun is up, that's the height of your society. So the morning is talking about our morning. When the sun is coming up for us, that's when this man's going down. And the night, when we divide the spoils, is when Esau's sun goes down. That's what it's talking about. Because give me the book of, because what are we doing right now? We're working, right? We got to work. We got to work, or we got to do some illegal activity in order to make our money. And you got to work hard, too, with these damn taxes that I read about earlier. Give me the book of St. John, the 9th chapter and the 4th verse. Because we're working right now, right? Didn't it say in Job, the 20th chapter and the 21st verse, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. And it says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, if you look up the word wicked in Job 20:22, the word wicked means laborer, worker, toiler. So that's talking about us. It ain't talking about an actual wicked destroying the wicked. It's talking about us, the workers. So now, when our kingdom comes, are we going to work? No, we ain't going to work. We're going to have slaves working for us. So when our kingdom comes, what time of day is it going to be for Esau? His night, right? So in the kingdom of heaven, when we bring this man down, are we going to get up, set the alarm to get up and go to work? No. Now let's get that scripture.
We're going to be working on him. John chapter 9 verse 4. I must work the works of him that sent me.
Right. So the Lord is doing the work, just like when we go out here on the highways and the byways and do the works of the Lord. We're actually working, man. When you're out there in the hot sun, you're standing up like a security guard. What does a security guard do? He stands up and he watches, right? He's not really working, but he's working. So when we out there on the highways and the byways, that's work. And we out there for hours, man. That's actual work. Go ahead.
I must work the works of him that sent me.
Now, when the Lord came on the scene, what did he do? Did not he go on the highways and the byways and preach the word outside? So you got these guys saying you don't have to do that. Well, the best example is Yahweh Shai. The best example is the apostles, because they all did that. They was all outside, and they all prophesied outside, just like we doing. Go ahead.
I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day.
While it is day. What day is it? The day is talking about Esau's day. It's still his day. When the Lord was speaking, what day was that? The day of the Roman Empire. Because we're not going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead.
The night cometh when no man can work.
Right, the night cometh when no man can work. Read that again.
Right. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
That's right, and the night is coming. Now I want you to go from there to the book of Matthew, the 25th chapter. And I don't want to go to the first verse. I want to go down a couple of verses. Was it Matthew 25? All right, start from the 4th verse.
Okay, Matthew 25, verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
That means we went into captivity. Esau beat the Hebrew Israelite out of us. So we couldn't speak Hebrew. We couldn't keep the Sabbath because Esau took all that away. We couldn't call upon the name of the Lord because Esau took all that away. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. I say unto you, I know you not. Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
Yeah, so when is he going to come? At midnight. What is the midnight talking about? Midnight is pitch dark. So it's talking about the night. It's talking about Esau's night. Because a couple of hours, the sun come back up. That's our sun coming back up. Go back to midnight again.
Right, it says, and verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye to meet him.
Right, so the cry, we're making the cry. When we go out there and we teach this word, we're trying to wake up all the tribes. It's happening when? At midnight, when this man's going down to get ready for what? The morning. So we're in that time right now, all right? So that's what that word night means. He divided the spoils in the night. That means when this man goes down in his night, which is our morning, it's going to be the kingdom. All right? All right, go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 2, verse 19. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of watches. Pour out thine heart like water.
Right, the night is talking about Esau's night. Go ahead.
Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches. Pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hand towards him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street.
Right, that faint for hunger is talking about what? Hunger of this truth. You got guys that call themselves reading the scriptures. You don't go out there and feed the people. You had some groups out there, including Yohana Bar, that would go get food and have people line up and give them food. You ain't supposed to be giving them food. That's not your job. Your job is to give them this food. Read it again.
It says, arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches. Pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street.
In the top of every street. So where do we go out and teach? On the top of every street. All right? All right.
Yeah, because Elder Tar said you're not supposed to be out there handing Thanksgiving turkeys and all that crap, you know. John 6:27, it says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for the meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him have the Most High the power sealed. Now if I go to 26 verse, it says, Yahushua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. And you had that back then, even as you have today. People just come, you know, they see what they can get, a freebie or, right, a handout. And it proceeds to say, labor not, this is what Yahushua said, labor not for the meat which perisheth, that's
cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
Now, there are some breakdowns talking about the shoulders represent America's the head. Then the South America, that's the lower part of the body. And then where Benjamin is, that's the shoulders. That's not talking about that. The shoulders is talking about the Most High is going to take care of you. He's going to put you up on his shoulders. That's why he called you his beloved. Now, Esau, what he wanted to do to all these tribes was really massacre them, destroy them, do away with them as a people. Benjamin is not that big. They don't have no great army. They don't have an army, period. So why hasn't Esau taken them down? Because the Most High is with them, man. And we don't got to go into the geographical area because we know that all the tribes came to that same geographical area, which is the Americas, all right, on the Western Hemisphere. It tells you that in the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha about going from the east to the west. So we know we're on the western side of this world, of this planet, which consists of Canada. You got a lot of Benjaminites up in Canada. You got a lot of Ephraimites up in Canada. You got a lot of Levites up in Canada. You got nothing but Gad up in Canada. Then you go down to the so-called U.S., below south of Canada. All right, that's also on the western hemisphere of this planet. Then you got Central and South America. That's all on the western part of this world. So all these prophecies fit us. It points right to us. It doesn't point to the so-called Jews. Go ahead.
Exodus 19:4. You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself.
That's right. Now, let's go back to where we left off in Deuteronomy 33 and 12.
Deuteronomy 33:12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
And he shall dwell between his shoulders. Now jump down to the 27th verse.
Verse 27. The eternal power is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms.
Pretty much says the same thing. And underneath are his everlasting arms. So if he's holding you in safety, he's bearing you. He's got his arms around you. You know how you carry a box on your back and you got your arms to wrap it around? That's what the Most High is doing to Benjamin. That's why Esau couldn't destroy Benjamin. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them.
Right. That's going back to the scripture about the in the morning they shall take the prey, and in the evening they shall divide the spoil. That's what it's talking about. He shall destroy the enemy. Okay. Now let's go from there to we're going to deal with Simeon and Levi. See, the main point in the tribe of Benjamin is the ravening as a wolf. All right? Like I said, check out what a wolf does. Before a wolf, first of all, they move in packs. That's how Benjamin move, in packs. When they go to get you, if you mess with one of their family members, they're going to be a whole posse to get your ass. But before they do that, they're going to make a lot of noise and scare the shit out you before they actually tear you to pieces. That's what the wolf does, and that's what Benjamin is getting ready to do to Esau. All right? Let's go to the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter. Did you got the verse? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they digged down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel.
Read that again.
Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Now what it means by brethren, we're all brethren. All the tribes are brethren, but what it means by brethren is that there are two tribes on the same island, but there's a like a barrier right there. So you got Simeon on one side and you got Levi on the other side. That's what it means by their brethren. Go ahead.
Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations.
Now that's talking about this story of this Canaanite that had sex, entice Dinah, the sister, the only woman child of Jacob. And what happened was the Levi and Benjamin, they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that, especially a Hamite, laying down with their daughter. So what they did was they said, look, you can marry our daughter, but you and all your people got to get, all your men got to get circumcised. So they said, okay, we'll get circumcised, because they had servants, so they wanted to have sex with the servants of Jacob, all right, because we had servants with us. So what happened was, it was a setup. When they were sore, that's when Benjamin and Levi and their men attacked them and slaughtered. It was a great slaughter, and that was cruel. But guess what? So what, man? It was cruel. They did it to a damn Canaanite. Motherfucker, goddamn Canaanite, man. But the reason why Jacob, lost it, because, man, you are rocking the boat, so to speak. Because we got to live here, man. Because all we're going to have is nothing but wars against these surrounding nations and these tribes and so forth. And they were small at that time. Go ahead.
It says, "O my soul, come not thou into their secret."
Now, their secret is talking about what? Their voodoo. In other words, on the on Levi's side, you have that voodoo, that heavy witchcraft. Now, on Simeon's side, you got the same thing. It's called Santeria and Brujeria. Now, the word brujeria means like the brew, a witchcraft. Because what does a witch do? She puts together. She takes the cauldron and she makes a brew, and she uses it to put spells on you. So that's why they call it brujeria, which means witchcraft or Wicca. So they prayed after Satan, but they put saints in front of them. They put Saint Mary and Saint this, but they're really demons that they're worshiping. Okay? So that's their secret. Okay, go ahead.
"O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly."
Right, their assembly, because they have those meetings and where they get together in their churches. And they'll have old women smoking cigars. They'll wear the Gadite headdress. They'll take a goat and they'll slaughter the goat or a chicken. They'll pull the chicken's head off. And then there's an account where Levi, on the righteous side, one of the purifications to Israel was to take a chicken and take the chicken's head off and sprinkle the blood over Israel. So they still do that to this day. Because how'd they know to call on them gods? Because they knew that back on the righteous side, back when they was in their right mind. So they do those same rituals, but they do it in the name of a strange god. So that's their secret, that you shouldn't come into their assembly. Another thing that they got big, this is among Simeon and Levi and the other Latin tribes, are these things called botanicas. When you go up in there, if you lost your job, they give you a candle. You light this candle, and then you get a job. Or if you want to get a man, or for women, because mostly women go up in there. They'll give you a certain candle, and you'll light that candle, and you do a certain prayer, and you dress up all in white, and then you get the man of your dreams. So that's their secret, their witchcraft, following the left-hand side. Go ahead.
"Mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall."
That's going back to that situation with their sister Dinah. Go ahead.
May I say this other time? Right where it says, "Be not thou united," they live on the same island, but they don't get along together. Because the Dominicans, they call the Levites, they call the Haitians, they call them Cushon. Now the word Cushon means pig. So whenever they see them, they'll call them that, because there's rivalry between the two. But they're brothers. They live on the same island, but they don't get along. That's why the Lord said, "Be thou not united."
We estranged people, man. Yep. Go ahead.
It says, and the reason why I know, because we had this one Levite dude in our camp, but he's not around anymore. We had to give him the boot, through the Spirit of the Lord. But we went into this bodega up there in Simeonville, up there like around 200th Street, you know, where that bridge connects the Manhattan to the Bronx. And when we went up in the store, the Dominican dude said, "You Haitian?" He said, "Yeah." So he said something to him in that patois, in that French. And then the dude that was with us, he went back, you know, he said something back to him in the patois. And I was like, "Yeah, that's right," you know, because I didn't know what was going on. But he answered him, you know, in the same language. And then he came back to me and said, "You know what he said?" He said, "I'm a pig," in French. He said, and he explained to me that there's that rivalry going between the two, Simeon and Levi. Verse 7, "Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel."
Yeah, because back in the ancient world, Levi didn't have their own inheritance, meaning their own land. So they were scattered and they were living in the suburbs. And they were living good. So they were mingled among all the tribes. Some were living around among Judah. Some were living around Benjamin. Some were living around Ephraim. So when they had that split, it was Jeroboam that you had Levites that was with them other tribes that went with Jeroboam, but Jeroboam said, "No, you go back with Judah, the kingdom of Judah." And then what happened was Jeroboam had said, "Okay, any of y'all can be priests." So they had Gad being priests. They had Ephraim being priests. That's why of all the tribes of Israel, they all have their spiritual priesthood. Because the Levites had left, so they call themselves trying to do the job as a Levite. They wasn't set up to be the Levites. All right? Is there more to that? Or you got something? That was it on that. All right. Now, being that they did that, the Most High scattered them. That's why you got Simeon all over the damn place, man. You got Levi all over the place. I happen to be of the tribe of Levi, and my family is basically Judah. I'm the only Levite in my family, and that's how Levite was scattered. You got Levites out there that you swear are Judah because they grow up in Jake families or even Ephraimite families, and they'll speak that Puerto Rican perfectly, but they're really Levite. So that's a fulfillment of prophecy right there. Now let's go from there to Hosea 4:1. Because they were at one time they were priests unto the Most High on the right hand side, but now they're no longer priests. They're priests of the spiritual demon Satan right now, because they're still doing those spiritual things, but they're doing it based upon the power of the left hand side. All right, Hosea 4:1.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land, by swearing and lying and killing."
Yeah, because Levi, his job as a priesthood was to bring justice. If you had a matter, you would go to the priest. Go ahead.
By swearing and lying and killing.
And that's what Levi is doing right now. That's what Simeon's doing right now. Simeon, what they have is their God, the number one God that they believe in is Michael, Saint Michael, or Michael the Archangel, but it's a goddamn cracker with blonde hair and blue eyes wearing a fucking skirt that looked like he jumped off of a damn float at the gay parade. But you got Simeon blacker than coal, man, driving a damn taxi with supposedly Michael right there being a damn co-pilot. It's a goddamn shame the way our people are so messed up in the damn brain, man. Go ahead.
It says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out.
And they all do that, man. The Simeonite women, man, they'll deal with their husband, then they'll go out and get a job, and they go out of state and dance in a damn strip club, man. Or work in a damn whorehouse. And they'll do 8 hours, and they'll come home, and they'll kiss their husband, and they'll cook food for him. You know, he'll come back from work, and she'll come back from work, but he don't know that she's working at a damn strip joint. Or she's working a night shift where she leaves late at night when he's coming in, and she'll say, well, I left you some fandango. What's that? Mondongo. Mofongo, mondongo. So he's all happy, kisses his wife. Then she goes to do the night shift, and the night shift is dancing around the goddamn pole. I know that for a fact because I know.
On a ravaged hillside in Port-au-Prince, the earthquake revealed a once hidden voodoo temple, where Christian icons and pagan symbols combine. The Hugon, a voodoo priest, unwraps a voodoo doll where he claims he deposits evil spirits. He says his healing work saved his life. I must have done a lot of good with my voodoo, he says, because the earthquake didn't kill me. But at the Assembly of Jesus Church in Port-au-Prince, Pastor Pierre David blames voodoo for the destruction. I do believe that the quake came because of voodoo, he says, because they did a lot of bad things. Now it's time that Christ takes over. Both Christian and voodoo leaders say that's exactly what's happening. Pastor David says thousands of voodooists, like former Hugan Patrick Godet, have converted to Christianity in his area. I used to practice voodoo. I used powers that are negative, he says, and then my friend Pastor David showed me the power that is in Christ. But the voodoo leadership says a different power is at work, aid. They claim that some Christian groups withheld emergency food and medicine from voodooists in an attempt to win converts.
The two way of life, the Christian way of life or the voodoo way of life. That is the choice.
We spoke with Max Beauvoir, the Ati, or supreme leader of the voodooists in Haiti. Are Christian groups trying to buy souls in Haiti?
Yes, they have tried to buy souls. They believe that souls are sellable. But it's one of those commodities that cannot be sold.
Churches say they've been lending a hand to all Haitians, but many Christians believe that their path is the right one, that all voodoo followers should join their flock. Despite a history of religious tension, many Haitians we've spoken to say that this earthquake was so devastating and affected people of all religions that now is the time to rebuild and unite. David McKenzie, CNN, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Simeon, man. I know they're women and I know they're men.
That's one thing Elder Tara always says. In order for you to really fully understand the tribes and what these scriptures mean, you have to actually know or lived around these tribes to know how their characteristics are.
That's right. Okay, let's go ahead.
It says, and by lying and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for the people are as they that strive with the priest. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother.
Yeah, because they didn't have no prophets down there in Haiti, man, in Port-au-Prince, because the prophet would have said, look, there's going to be an earthquake. You better go over, you better go to the mountains. They ain't had no prophets. They ain't had no priests. The head priest of the Roman Catholic Church was this Levi dude, and he got crushed along with his priests in that damn church. So it was beautiful that earthquake took place because they're following some Roman Catholic God, man, which they're worshiping Satan. And then after the earthquake hit, they're praying to the same Roman Catholic God. So you getting jacked up because of your wickedness. Go ahead.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Why you got jacked up in that earthquake? Because you destroyed for a lack of knowledge. There ain't no prophet down there went and told you that there's going to be an earthquake. Or come back, you're Levites. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Right, you rejected the knowledge of the Most High. Go ahead.
That thou shalt be no priest, no priest. I'm sorry, let me read that again. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power.
So who are the priests? The tribe of Levi. Those are that's the only tribe that could be a priest. So the Lord said there's no more priests. Because you Roman Catholic, you might call yourself a priest, but you a priest in that Roman Catholic bullshit. Go ahead.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also...
You ain't keeping the law. You eating pork. Go ahead.
I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
So Levi's glory was changed into shame along with the other tribes. Okay? Now, when you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, all those, that whole chapter is assigned to Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because not just Judah came over here in ships, it was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because the other tribes are already here on the other side of the world. You got something? Go ahead.
This is the book of Malachi 2:7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge. Okay, I'm sorry. You want it now? Or you got something else?
Matter of fact, go to that since you got it. Give me Malachi. Start at the top verse. Okay. No, because the whole chapter, there's good points in there, but the whole chapter is good. So we're going to try to read the whole chapter. Malachi 2:1.
Malachi chapter 2 verse 1. And now, O ye priests,
which are the Levites. Go ahead.
This commandment is for you. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse.
Was not that earthquake a curse? Was not the fact that they were eating, prior to the earthquake, they were eating mud cakes. And what's mixed in mud? A man shits, he don't got a toilet, he shits in the street, and that mingles with the mud. That's what mud is. They tell you when you look up the word mud, it means dirt, soil, and water. No, mud is shit, pee, piss. Go ahead.
I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because you do not lay it to heart. Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces.
And spread dung upon your faces. What is dung? Dung is shit. In the form of mud, in the form of real dung. Man shit. And that's a fulfillment of prophecy of Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, the 9th verse to the 14th verse. So it was prophesied that we was going to all eat shit. All eat mud, all eat dung. But you know what? Levi was going to actually eat mud.
Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley, and beans and lentils and millet, and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make the bread thereof, and make the bread thereof, according to the number of the days that thou shalt be upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. And thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink water. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of an hin. From time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight.
Now the word dung means shit. So the Lord actually told Ezekiel to eat man shit and make like a cake out of it with the wheat and the barley. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Then said I, Our Lord, power, behold, my soul hath not been polluted. From my youth up, even until now, have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces, neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth.
Well, guess what? All the tribes, they're eating abominable flesh. They're eating pig, they're eating lobster, they're eating shrimp, they're eating squid, they're eating octopus. All the tribes is doing that. The only ones that's not doing it is the ones that woke up to the fact that they're Israel. But you might have Israelites out there that's still eating pork on the damn sneak and got a taste for shrimp. Oh, the Lord ain't going to see me. Let me go eat this shrimp. Go ahead. That's why the Lord got to fuck you Israelites up, man. Go ahead.
Then he said unto me, Lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith.
Yeah, because he wasn't going to eat the man's dung. So the Lord said, okay, eat cow's dung. And guess what? He actually ate it. Go ahead. What verse is that?
Verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care. And they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity.
And consume away because of their iniquity, man. You got a lot of our people that's catching hell, but they don't want to come back to the Lord. Now let's go back to Malachi 2 where we left off.
Malachi chapter 2 verse 3, Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it. And you shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name. The Lord...
Right, because at one time, during the time of the Levitical priesthood, they feared the Most High. They knew the Most High's name. They kept the laws and commandments. And there were certain laws unto death. And who were the ones that put you to death? The Levites put you to death. Go ahead.
It said, the law of truth was in the mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. You have caused many to stumble at the...
That's the Haitians right now. Because they went off, that's why they catching hell, man. It's a known fact that that's the poorest nation in the western hemisphere, or in the western hemisphere. Why? Because of them heavy ass curses, man, that the Most High brought against you. Go ahead.
But ye are departed out of the way. You have caused many to stumble at the law.
Right, and that's what they're doing by making you follow that voodoo nonsense, man. Those feasts. What is that? Rah-rah. Those feasts. They make you follow that feast, and then if you call yourself being righteous, you follow the ways of the Roman Catholic Church. But anyway, I'm gonna pass it to this brother so he can read that article on the mud cakes.
The name of this article is Dirt Cakes and Ding Dongs. Haiti and U.S. face unique food crisis. With my appetite sufficiently dampened by the up-to-the-minute reports of McCain's facial growth, this story erased it completely, and the picture reduced me to tears. These children live in the Haitian Port-au-Prince slum of Cité Soleil, which City of the Sun. Some kids make mud pies for play, but children in the picture survive on dirt cakes. They eat them. You'll see the picture. Like in the pictures below, the cakes are modeled of mud and fat and allowed to dry in the sun. Fat, yep.
Fat is shit. When you go to the bathroom, you got some people that go to the bathroom and their waist goes to the bottom, right? Some of it floats to the top. Sometimes half of it floats to the bottom and the other half floats to the top. The waste that floats to the top is pure fat. That's fat coming out of your system. Okay? So it said that the mixture is fat, so that's shit.
Yep, the cakes are modeled of mud and fat and allowed to dry in the sun. The only form of sustenance many Haitians can afford after rice and bean prices have risen 100%. One woman, that you can blame the so-called white man on that. One woman who makes the dirt cakes says it stops the hunger. You eat them when you have to. The director of the aid agency, Christian Aid, says in the next 6 to 12 months, food aid has been delayed. Okay, I should note that the article is dated, what is that, July 27, 2008, all right? So it's kind of recent, you know?
They were catching hell long before the quake. I thought that was after the quake, man. So on top of that, to add insult to injury, man, the Most High smacked them with a earthquake, man. So they're really catching hell, man. They went from hell to deeper hell. Now, I did some research and I found out the GDP, which is the gross domestic product of Haiti, I believe, if I remember correctly, is $7 million. Compared to the U.S. GDP is what? $14 trillion. So $7 million is a drop in a chump change to the United States. Now, when that earthquake hit, I think they collected, with all the donations and the concerts and all that, I think they collected, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was something like $350 million plus dollars. So that's many times, I believe that's 50 times the GDP of Haiti. So if they were living on $7 million, now they got 50 times that, or more than 50 times that, they should be able to build up Haiti in no time, right? But none of that money hit Haiti, man. Because the U.S., I believe they made a pledge of sending, through the government, I think it was 137 million, and that's when the earthquake first hit. And you know what, to this day, they sent zero. Under the Barack Obama administration. So he has the power to have that money sent because they already made the pledge to help them. So there's a lot of countries that said that they're going to help Haiti and didn't send a goddamn dime, man. So that shows you that this guy, Barack Obama, he's not for black people, man. But you still got these bird-brained niggas praising Barack Obama. And this guy haven't did one fucking thing for you damn stupid niggas. Like I said, going back to what I said earlier, that's why you niggas got to be destroyed. You're not even sensible no more, man. You can't see that this man don't give a fuck about you. Go ahead.
Yep, reading on. While more than 50% of Haitians are undernourished, a new study about the state of the future of the U.S. waistline is even harder to stomach. To see it and a clever way you can help feed the hungry, read more. By the year 2030, most adults in the U.S. will be overweight or obese, according to a new study to be published in July issue of the Obesity Journal. By most, they mean 86%. Healthcare spending is projected to be as much as $957 billion, with $1 in every $6 spent going to obesity-related care. While obesity in the U.S. is now a public health crisis, you can help provide food for people with the exact opposite problem without leaving your computer. The UN World Food Program has a vocabulary game called Free Rice.
Let me say about the World Food Program is fucking bullshit. They ain't helping them Haitians. If they are helping them, they're helping them very little. All right? It's just like you got a guy caught on fire and you give the guy a goddamn sip of water. That ain't going to help his ass. All right? So now let's go back to where we left off in Malachi.
Malachi chapter 2 verse 8. But you are departed out of the way. You have caused many to stumble at the law. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi.
That's why you catching hell. Because you were set up, you were responsible to keep the law, to pass the law on to Israel. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
And you're base. Base means the very bottom. Like if you do some research, you find out that Haiti is the poorest nation, or the poorest, the poorest nation on the western, in the Western Hemisphere. Go ahead.
According as you have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. Have we not all one Father? Have not one power created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother, by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Judah have dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Jerusalem and in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah hath profaned the holiness of the Lord, which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange god.
Yeah, now that makes me think about Comfy. Comfy then basically they sold out. That's why Comfy is teaching that, he sold out the name of the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and he's a worshiper of the Queen of Heaven, which makes him a Roman Catholic. All right. So Judah's gonna get jacked up too. All right. Now let's go from there to the book of Genesis. We're gonna deal with Manasseh now. Let's go to did we hit Deuteronomy 33? Was there anything on Levi on that? I don't know if we hit that. Deuteronomy 33. All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 8. And of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou madest prove at Manasseh, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children. For they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and hold burnt sacrifices upon thine altar. Bless the Lord his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again.
Now go to the top again.
It says, and of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with the Holy One.
Now I'm explaining to you what the Thummim and the Urim is. The Thummim and the Urim, so you can best understand, is equivalent to the TV set that you have in your house. It's like a glass that signals come through the air or through a cable, and you can watch shows, you can watch live events. Another example is a computer. When you go on the World Wide Web, you got these wires connected to a cable, and then you can go to a live event on the other side of the world. So that would be equivalent to the Urim and the Thummim. That's the same concept. What the Most High gave Esau with the TV set and the computer, the World Wide Web, is basically the Urim and the Thummim. Because if you committed a sin, the Levite priest would go to the Urim and the Thummim, and they would say that this woman committed adultery, and the spirit will come and give the message, yes, she committed adultery. And they would put that woman to death. So Levi had that power, going back to the spiritual power that they had. They had a spiritual connection with the Most High. So what do? They still have that spiritual power, but they have it on the left-hand side, and they're following the spiritual demon Satan right now. Okay? So with that, we're going to go from there to the Manasseh. And like I said, Manasseh goes hand in hand. All you got to do is go back to the scriptures on Ephraim or Joseph, and it pretty much covers the blessings and the cursings of Ephraim and Manasseh. Now let's go to Genesis 48, verses 8 down to the end, which is the 22nd verse, and we're going to end it on that. Like I said, Manasseh is under the same blessings and cursings pretty much as Ephraim, because they were brothers. Go ahead.
Genesis 48 and 8. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons whom the Most High hath given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, the the Most High has showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, the Most High, before whom my father Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his fathers laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it.
So this was a spiritual thing, which further proves that we're a spiritual people. Because Manasseh was the firstborn, so he was supposed to get the principal blessing over Ephraim. Because Jacob set it not Jacob, Joseph set it up that way to Jacob, which is now named Israel. So he put his blessings on him, but he put the principal blessing on Ephraim, which was the younger son. Go ahead.
And also, he also shall become a people, and he also shall be...
Right, Manasseh's going to become great. Go ahead.
And he also shall be great, but truly his younger brother shall be greater than he.
And that's a fact. Because Ephraim, man, they're all over the place, man. Ephraim is all over the place when it comes to music, when it comes to boxing, when it comes to sport. The only thing Manasseh really has and makes them famous is their boxes. All right? And they're just now defecting over here to the United States. But Ephraim done been world champions, man. Ephraim been singers, dancers. You got Ephraim all up in New York and Chicago, down south in California, Alaska, Canada. They're the closest to Judah. So Ephraim truly became greater than Manasseh. Go ahead.
But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Now, see, these guys go off because you read a verse like that and say he shall become a multitude of nations, and then your feeble mind to say that means there's a lot of other nations out there just out of Ephraim. The word nations means many, 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 many people. Ephraim is so big, it's just like they're not one nation, it's like they're a bunch of nations. Just like Brazil, the tribe of Asher, they're so big, they're like one nation, but they're like a bunch of nations, man. So you guys don't understand the scriptures. You come across the word nations or Gentiles, you think the Gentiles is only talking about people that are not of Israel. You don't understand the meaning of words. Read that again. Because there's no record of Ephraim having children that became another nation. It just means they became so big that they were like many nations. Go ahead.
But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Didn't I say you have Brooklyn Puerto Ricans? You have Manhattan Puerto Ricans? You got Connecticut Puerto Ricans? You got Chicago Puerto Ricans? You got California Puerto Ricans? You got Puerto Ricans all down south. I mean down south and down there in Puerto Rico. You got Puerto Ricans, like I said earlier. You got Puerto Ricans all up in Canada, man. You got Puerto Ricans that fought in different wars for Esau and then stayed over there in Germany. You got a lot of Puerto Ricans, Ephraimites, should I say, over there in Germany, man. They left their kids, their seed down there, man. In Vietnam. A lot of them Vietnamese children are really Ephraimites. Go ahead.
And he blessed them that day, saying, indeed.
And that's why the word, let's deal with the meaning of words. The word Manasseh means made to forget. The name Ephraim means fruitful. What does it mean by being fruitful? They had a lot of, they're known for having, they make jokes about Ephraim. Now, you always have, every time you turn around, your wife is pregnant. Well, the Most High set it up that way. Pack them in like Puerto Ricans. Go ahead.
And he blessed them that day, saying, indeed shall Israel bless, saying, the Most High make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, behold, I die, but the Most High shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
Right. So, that's it, pretty much it on the tribes. Let's go from there to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 36th verse. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Ultimately, that's talking about the Americas. Go ahead. And then that's twofold because it's talking about all the tribes coming to the Americas. If you go back 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, you didn't know what a Brazilian was or a West Indian, for that matter, even a Puerto Rican. The only ones that was here was really Judah, Gad, and Reuben. So now you got all the tribes here because the Most High said he's going to bring all the tribes together in one place because he has established the 144,000 and that multitude, which is the 1/3 of Israel that's going to be saved. Now you got more than 1/3 of Israel in the land of America, so you got a lot of our people that's going to die in America. But 1/3 of the Israelites in this society, they're going to make it. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone.
That's your churches. Go ahead.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations.
Right, like the brother just said, pack them in like Puerto Ricans. Oh, you wearing Puerto Rican colors. Go ahead. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. There's a joke with 3 guys, an Irish guy, a Jewish guy, and a black guy, and the black guy gets the worst of the joke. Go ahead.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
So we read about each and every tribe, where they would go and what curses that were going to be on them, because all of them were cursed. Remember it said about Gad, a troop shall overcome him? Go ahead.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Because thou...
See, that's why you got a lot of these women, like the tribe of Ephraim and the other tribe women, a lot of them sneak and marry Esau. That happens big among Ephraim too. You know, you go to some hamlet where they got these $1 million homes, and you'll see a Latin chick and you think she's a maid. She's actually married to that damn Edomite, which might happen to be a doctor, because she's trying to get from around these curses. See, that's what a woman does. They don't understand what's going on. They feel that they're oppressed or cursed, so they'll get with an Edomite because they know the Edomite is being blessed, and they'll actually marry that Edomite, man. That's why we ain't really dealing with no woman. We just this word is for the men. Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Right. So that's how we know that we're the children of Israel, because all these signs was going to be on us. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, and we'll see y'all on the next round. Shalom.